Hey everyone, my name is Gemini. I'm an astro hottie here on YouTube where I talk all things tarot and astrology. So for today, um, I pulled up Doja Cat's chart because I wanted to look and see what's going on with Miss Cat right here. Um, so I'm sure everybody is aware on Twitter, Instagram, whatnot. Doja Cat has been rolling out her new album, and she has this, I guess, alter ego Scarlet. And so the entire album is really dark, and she's focusing on showcasing that she can rap and straying away from more of her the pop genre that she blew up on, which is fine. However, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding how she's been treating her fans, and just her whole persona in general. Um, some of the stuff that she's been saying, I can't even lie, like just very disrespectful. Um, I agree with her in the sense of like parasocial relationships have gotten really out of hand lately, and this need for people, strangers, to want to know every single thing about you, just because they consume your art and your product is kind of whack to me. Like it doesn't make sense. They know you, they know your social image and they know your public image, but you don't know them as a person. And so I agree that I think that she has a right to be frustrated about that and to be upset when fans kind of demand to know so many like personal things about her. However, I don't think that's totally the case. Of course, that definitely feeds into kind of the reactions that she's having, but people are more upset because of one, her behavior, and two, her relationship right now with a known alleged P word. And so that's been causing a lot of tension. I wanted to take a look at her chart, and I also thought it'd be a good way to start practicing some astrology and see if we can not figure out what's going on, but see if we can find some patterns and aspects that might point to this sudden um, shift in personality change. I don't even think it's a personality change. I think Doja's always been like this and a little weird and whatever, but I think this like desire to completely rehaul her image out of nowhere in the like worst way possible is very interesting. So, let's get into this. One thing that I always will look at when dealing with a celebrity is their 10th house or wherever their MC lies. So, your 10th house, commonly known for, is like career, authority figure, but it also rules public image. The MC points to the top, the highest point of your chart. So, when we're talking about public image, that is like almost what you aspire to be in the eyes of the public, and points to how people who know you for your career or what you produce, how they see you and how you may portray yourself. So Doja has her MC in and her 10th house in Libra. I'll also start going into degree theory a little bit because I think it's really interesting and I want to practice on that. So she has her MC at the second degree of Taurus. So Nicola, he said that the second degree is the best degree you can have. It means that you are on top. It means that you are the best at whatever planet or um, aspect it lies on. And so I don't think it's any surprise that Doja dominates her genre. Like she dominates the music career thing, the singing career, the rap career thing. She is in my personal opinion, a musical genius. And all of her work is so artistic, and you can tell that like I'm sure it takes a lot of work, but some of her lives I've watched and it just comes naturally to her. Like she was definitely born to pursue music. So I am not at all surprised that um, her MC is at the second degree, and it's also in Leo. Now, Leo just naturally rules creativity, it rules hobbies, it rules things that are fun, things that are artistic, things that are just full of charm and excitement and entertainment. Leo literally rules entertainment. And so she's the best at entertaining people through and through. I am not at all surprised to see that. Um, so that's a really good sign. I think, this this points to someone who is meant to be in the public eye for sure and thrives in the public eye, maybe not personally, but their career definitely thrives in the public eye and centers around entertainment, fun, social, partying, that sort of thing, for sure. So when I want to look at the maybe health of their career or public image, I would go to the sun. I would go to its ruler. So the ruler of the 10th house here is the sun, because the sun is ruled by Leo. So the sun here, she has her sun in the 12th house. Girl, me too, girl. I know. I know. The sun in the 12th house it's tough. It's also in a Gemini degree, the 27th degree. And it's closely conjunct by 2 degrees, her ascendant in Libra, and by 1 degree, her north node. So that's actually really helpful. A couple things here. So just based off her sun being in the 12th house in Libra, um, the sun represents you, yourself. It also represents your self expression and your identity and ego. And in Libra, Libra is naturally a codependent, balanced, not codependent, but it can be codependent, but they're very focused on relationships. They're focused on other people. It's a very well balanced sign, or it's supposed to be. And it's very artistic as well. It is the poetic nature of the song. It is the art of music. It is the art of singing. It is the creative expression. Like what's a deeper meaning behind the words. So 110%, her public image, her career in general is going to deal with art, entertainment, being in the public eye, and she's going to be really good at it. At the 27th degree of Gemini, I mean, this is like if I could build a chart, like if I could build a placement to be like a musical genius, a lyrical genius, this would be it. This is literally saying she is a poetic genius in her words. Like her lyrics are poetic, and they give rise to great entertainment in the public, or to the public. Um, but it's in the 12th house. So the 12th house is a very complex house. It is something I'm still learning about, even though all of my placements are in the 12th house. Um, the 12th house can be kind of difficult just because it's very hidden and it's heavy. It's all about spirituality. It's all about confinement and isolation. It's all about things that are hidden for you, hidden by you. Um, it's not a purposeful type of mysterious house. Like it's not like the eighth house where you are purposefully trying to hide things from people because of or for whatever reason. The 12th house is something where it's just naturally hidden. There are things that you will not discover until you do work to discover it, or sometimes it just pops out of nowhere. Um, so her identity is very hidden to her. Her own personal identity, sun, ego, identity in the 12th house of hidden things. She probably struggled and probably still is struggling to find who she is as a person. Um, because she's so dynamic, it's ruled by the 27th degree Gemini. Gemini bounces from one thing to another. 1 minute they're comfortable here, another minute they're comfortable there. 1 minute they want to be, emo, another minute they want to be the pretty pink popular girl. And that's fine. They like to jump around, but the energy of Libra does not like to jump around. They don't like to not be balanced. They don't like to know everything is just and fair and stable. Um, Remember, Libra is ruled by the scales. So she is like trying to find who she is in the midst of her being one of the biggest artists in the world. And her ego is like, why don't I know who I am? This is not right. I feel unbalanced and it's causing conflict. But then she's like, I enjoy, she likes and she enjoys like finding who she is and navigating that space. But then it's still like in the public eye, and that conflict, like, as much, I feel like, for warning here, I don't know none of these people. I don't know none of the celebrities. I don't want to know who they are because, I really take seriously that phrase, like, never meet your heroes. They're normal people like us. There are probably things that we are not going to like about them, and that's fine, as long as everybody's staying safe and respectful of other people's spaces and experiences. I don't care. But it just seems, I wouldn't be surprised if Doja doesn't mind, not like, going from one phase to another, one era to another. But the reason why she actually hates the fact that, like, there's so much conflict going around, about her identity, um, for both her and for people outside of, her social circle. Um, Great news is that her sun is like pretty much on top of her north node. It is, the energy that we want to lean in towards, when lean into in our lives, and it helps things get much easier once we like move away from our south node, or what's comfortable for us, and evolve into our north node. And she is going to have to figure out how to be balanced, how to resolve conflict, um, because without trying to like go to one extreme. Libras, when they feel unsteady, they will just swing the pendulum to one side instead of like trying to find that steady ground. And she's going to have to learn how to compromise almost. Um, let's see what else is interesting here. So, in terms of her fans, I really feel for Doja here. 11th house in Virgo, and her moon is in the 11th house in Virgo, is tough. You can't tell me that all the mean things that are said about Doja, she hasn't said to herself in 10 times worse. The Virgo energy is, their work ethic is crazy. That's why, her moon, she's emotionally in tune to work hard. Like, she like feels fulfilled, when she is working her ass off. That doesn't necessarily mean she's happy, but she just feels like that, and that intense internal like emotional fulfillment comes from working hard. Virgos also get sick often because they're so stressed. Ruled by Mercury, Mercury rules nerves. She definitely overworks herself to death, to the bone. She definitely also gets sick a lot. Okay, I hate being like, she definitely does, because like I know her, but like, I don't know. This is looking like she gets sick a lot. And her weight fluctuates because of how much she's working. Um, Another thing here, the 11th house rules groups of people. It rules networking. It rules very large groups of people, and not people that you're close with. Honestly, in a celebrity's chart, anybody's chart, if you are dealing with large audiences, you look to the 11th house to figure out how to maybe appease those audiences, how you would best thrive. And 11th house, or Virgo in the 11th house, means to me that her audience, even though they love her and stuff, they will always have a critical eye on her. Virgos are all about perfection. They're all about having a clean image. They're all about being nitpicky. And her fans are going to nitpick her no matter what. Even if it's in good faith, it just comes out as a criticism all the time. Her moon being there tells me that she feels that. I don't care what she says. She feels that. She feels um, she feels like she is lost in it. 24th, the 24th degree is a Pisces degree. Pisces rules things that are hidden as well, mysteries, things that are that don't have boundaries. She Her audience doesn't have boundaries when it comes to her, and they don't have boundaries when it comes to their criticism. She probably also doesn't have boundaries when it comes to her, to criticizing herself and criticizing others, like other groups of people as well. She definitely feels lost. Like she definitely feels like no one is really seeing how she's feeling, no matter how she comes across. And it's like it almost feels like there's no point for her. What's interesting too is that her moon is opposite Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn in Pisces, it just means that there are a lot of lessons in terms of boundaries. Pisces does not is a very watery, mutable sign. Does not have boundaries. People with personal planets in Pisces have a lot of trouble not absorbing the energy around them, and then like they could be happy. They walk into a room and everybody's sad, and suddenly like they can't shake off the sadness for like weeks at a time. Um, there's just a lot of conflicting energy between what she's feeling and wanting to be grounded in what she knows, what she can feel, what she can see, versus um, what she can't see and what she can't control. Let's look at her relationships. So when I look at relationships, I look at the fifth house. I look at the seventh house as well for long term relationships. Fifth house mostly rules those short term budding romances. So the girlfriend boyfriend stage, you could say. Seventh house rules the marriage, like marriage, long term contracts, even if it doesn't end up in an actual marriage, just like long term relationships. I'll also look at Venus sometimes, or not sometimes, I'll look at Venus to see how she wants to be loved, and how she might express love. And then I will look at Jupiter in terms of her, or according to her chart, the ideal, I guess, long term partner for her, if she's interested in men. She's with a man right now, so I'll look to Jupiter and I'm happy to an update. Anyways, so her fifth house. So, like I was describing before, her fifth house is in Pisces and she has Saturn in it. Pisces, very romantic, very, very romantic sign. It's a sign of the hopeless romantic. They don't, because the boundaries are really loose, they tend to feel like they crave soulmates, like soulmate energy, because of that mystic feeling that Pisces brings. There's also a lot of smoky mirrors. So when I see someone with the Pisces in the fifth house, I always kind of caution. I'll look at other planets and aspects, but I'll always caution that um, be a hopeless romantic. Definitely don't feel ashamed for wanting love, for wanting to be around somebody. Her North Node is in Libra. So like she I have no doubt that she might be hyper independent and she needs to lean into having relationships. Like she needs to lean into depending on others and not always depending on herself. But with Pisces in the fifth house, you have to work on those boundaries. It's not everyone who, excites you, you have to be in a relationship with. It's not everybody who weird and exciting and also likes this niche thing that you like, that you have to be in a relationship with. And she's gonna have to learn that, and I feel like she's learning that the hard way right now with Saturn in there. It's going to take a long time, honestly, before she finds a romantic connection. Of course, this is not talking about long term, but just romantic connection that respects her boundaries and respects her as a person and her feelings. Um, she will always learn hard lessons there, no matter what. Even if it's a great relationship, she will always learn a lesson, and she will always grow from it. So um, to be honest, this relationship that she's in, I don't see. I I don't see it lasting. I see this being karmic. I see this being something that she just needs to go through in order to learn. Okay, bro, I was literally going through and editing and just realized Saturn and Pisces opposite her moon, all of her relationships make her learn one, how not to work so hard, and two, how to handle criticism from big groups of people. Like, no wonder. Have you, like, think about it? Every time she's in like some sort of relationship that she goes public with, it like blows up. Like, people are like, what the fuck? What is going on? Duh. Wow. That's tough. Can't lie. It's also at the 18th degree. So the 18th degree, according to the degree theory, is can be like a really dark and not so good degree. Not to scare anybody, it can be a really it's labeled as the evil degree. It is naturally it's a Virgo degree, and there is that sense of servitude. There's that sense of give, 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 never receive, help everyone here, there. She needs to learn that she doesn't need to always help somebody. Like, I feel like she wants to almost not raise, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she wants to fix somebody. And it's just like, why? Girl, you got things to fix yourself. Neptune. Pisces is co-ruled by Neptune in modern astrology and Jupiter in traditional astrology. I like to look at both. Let's see what's going on. Her Neptune is in Capricorn. Like I said before, it's going to take a while. Capricorn, at the 22nd degree of Capricorn, it's going to take a while before she finds like a romantic connection that I think that she will actually believe is, her soulmate or whatever. Um, Neptune is conjunct Uranus. These relationships, one, they're smoking mirrors. Not everything's as it seems all the time, and they come out of nowhere. In the third house, so third house can mean siblings, it can mean your childhood, modes of communication. Um, the third house rules like short distances as well. Um, she probably meets a lot of her, boyfriends or girlfriends or partners. So whoever she's interested in, partners, she probably meets a lot of them at like either online, like on social media. Um, she probably texts them a lot, or like their relationship might be through the phone a lot. Um, even like small group gatherings, like a friend of a friend of a friend, or like someone who she looks as like a sibling introduces her, like budding romantic relationships. So Jupiter's in her second house of self confidence, of personal finances, of physical beauty, physical body, self esteem, even. Her romantic relationships affect her self esteem. It affects her personal finances too, and they affect how she sees her independence. Um, so she has her second house starting in the end of Scorpio, but enveloping Jupiter and um, Sagittarius. And Jupiter is comfortable in Sagittarius. She's looking for people who are different than her. She's looking for people who are maybe even of a different race, different ethnicity from her. She doesn't like people who, or she doesn't tend to do well with people who might be from the same background. Um, she has to be careful about, she's got to be really careful about wanting to find someone that's different from her because she doesn't know her identity. She's got to be very careful about that. So you have Jupiter squaring Saturn and sextiling her Chiron. So there might be a lot of childhood wounds surrounding spirituality and isolation, but then also relationships. So how she views relationships might be there might be some some wounds over there, and how she feels like she needs to give in relationships. There might be some things that she needs to solve. And you have Jupiter that has easygoing energy towards this placement. So sextiles, I'll get into this more, but sextiles and trines, they're known as like pretty easygoing and good aspects, but that doesn't necessarily mean the outcome is good. It just means that the energy between these two planets or three planets, whatever, are it's easy, like it's transferable. It's easily transferable. And Jupiter makes everything bigger. So if I have a Jupiter sextiling a Chiron, that means that this this planet is expanding the energy of Chiron. Um, and that can be really painful, especially when the house that it rules is activated and she's currently in a relationship with her boyfriend. So I'm not surprised that she is really, um, that she's fighting as hard as she is for this relationship. Okay. All in all, her romantic relationships will affect her finances and her self esteem. But at the end of the day, I have no issues or worries with whether or not she is going to lose all her money and all her fame, because at the end of the day, her second house is solid. It has Jupiter in it. It's at home in Sagittarius, all about expansion, all about growth. She has Mars in there. So, like, yes, she might spend a lot, but she also gains a lot at the same time. And then we got Pluto in here. The only way I can see someone like this character fucking up her finances, like they have to be bad. Like this evil degree has to be strong for them to really mess it up, because Pluto is the planet of extremes. And so you can be extremely wealthy or extremely poor, and it can fluctuate depending on the placement in the sign and everything. But I'm seeing her like she's financially solid. I'm not worried about that at all. Now, Pluto. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of why she's acting the way she is. And I have unfortunate news. She will always be this way. Surprise, surprise. Pluto. So let's get into Pluto here. Let's start with her first house. So she is a Libra rising. However, her Libra rising at the 29th degree, which is a prophetic degree, I wouldn't be surprised if she had dreams about being famous and, kind of manifested that. Very special degree, but that's not what we're here for. Most of her first house is in Scorpio. So with a Libra rising, Venus is ruled by Libra, or Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is in her first house in Scorpio. Her entire first house of self, her literally her physical body, literally her as a person, it has major energy in Scorpio, also ruled by Pluto. Scorpio is also in traditional astrology ruled by Mars, and they're literally right next to right on top of each other. 29th degree, 0 degree, the most potent degree, which is crazy. And they're at home in Scorpio, so they like being there. It works in her favor for the most part. Actually, it just works in her favor. Her need to like roll out this extreme change in personality is because Scorpio plutonic energy is the sign of extremes. It's the sign of death and rebirth and deep transformation. When she wants to reinvent herself, it's not going to be like small change by small change, a methodical thing. It's going to be like one day she wakes up and she's like, I can't do this anymore. I need to change who I am. It's like literally her physical body, even the sudden need for her to cut all her hair off, to shave her eyebrows off, um, her rapid weight loss even can be seen here, as well as that's just how she is, and that's just how it operates. We also have Pluto um, sextiling her MC. Her public image will always be like, when she wants to change and reinvent herself, it will always be this dramatic. The public will always have a dramatic and almost obsessive view and hold of her. Pluto is also rules obsession, and it rules like kind of that really deep, dark stuff of of entrapment and like stalking and stuff like that, which can, be really scary. But when you have Pluto sextiling her MC, that means there's easy flowing energy between her public image and Pluto. Pluto's of extremes. Her public image will always come at extreme. That's probably why she rose to fame so suddenly and to like global fame. Like she is I mean, she will go down in history. She's an icon. She will be a legend. And I know she hates that. She hates that control. But um that's why, y'all, that's why it's like crazy out here. That's why the public, every time she does something, every time she changes herself, the public will have an extreme reaction to it. Um, this is also aided by the fact that uh, Mercury, which rules her 11th house of audiences and her fans, basically, is trining Pluto. And so they also have that like obsessive hold on her. Like that's where that parasocial relationship comes from, and why people like like, well, people are obsessed with celebrities, period. But like there's this um Mercury rules like online. Do you know it rules like things like Twitter? And that's why like Twitter, especially Instagram, things that like short modes of communication and social media, they have such a grip on her. They like always focus on her. But the thing is, for her, the good thing about it is, it looks to me like, yes, they will always have an extreme reaction to her, but it'll work in her favor because it's ruled by the ninth degree of Sagittarius, and her audiences, which are ruled by the ninth degree. Sagittarius is all about open mindedness. A lot of Gen Zs, I'm Gen Z, a lot of Gen Zers, like, we are known as the generation that is open minded, rebellious. We go our own path, we go our own way, we follow our own paths. We don't take tradition. Like, we tend to stray from tradition, to be honest. And her fans will become open minded and expand their horizons as she changes, even once they get past the dramaticness of it all. And, you know, she's meant to be this dramatic. Like, she's meant to have these really like extreme changes, and deaths and rebirths, metaphorically speaking. I think that's just how she will grow as a person. And it just sucks because um, her, like I said before, her sun is in the 12th house. She's got North Node in the 12th house. She's got Chiron and Mercury in the 12th house. She's got a lot of identity problems, and it doesn't help that she gets these urges to just completely reevaluate who she is all the time, and it works for her. Like, it definitely gives her benefits, especially her personal finances. Like, this girl has 9 lives. Like this this chart is tough personally, but financially, I mean, socially, she's fine. She's not losing her fame and fortune anytime soon. Um, I just would caution to Doja that there there is a way to, pursue these dramatic changes without that scorpionic, heavy, vindictive, um, feeling to them. Like, you don't have to be mean. That's definitely a Scorpio trait. Um, her Venus in Scorpio as well. Venus represents one's values, represents their beauty. And her sense of beauty will change all the time, especially physical beauty, because it's ruled by the 14th degree, which is a Taurus degree, and first house, literally physical body. So the shaving the hair off, the eyebrows, and everything, like it will happen time and time again. I won't be surprised if one day she decides to grow everything back and then she just stops cutting everything off. Like she just stops shaving, period. And that's her idea of beauty. Um, like I said, the identity thing, it sucks because she's got a very conflicting chart, but at the end of the day, this is who she is. This is how she will grow. Sextiling Saturn, this is a lesson for her in terms of finding what she finds beautiful and her values and reconstructing them all the time. Um, so yeah, I mean, the girl's good. Like she's solid. She ain't got really nothing to worry about. Um, of course, Doja, go to therapy. I didn't want to bring it up before, but I'll bring it up now. I know she's mixed, and I'm not saying there are placements that will like tell you if they're mixed, but tell you if someone is mixed at all. I don't know if you can even do that, but Gemini energy at on your sun. I know from personal experience that shit is terrible because you literally have two sides fighting for control, and you have to figure out how to balance the two. Go to therapy for your identity problems. You're too old to be, doing all this stuff. You can for sure change whatever you like, whenever you like, however you like, but you don't have to be mean to people. I understand people are mean to you sometimes, and you have a right to fight back and you have a right to stand up for yourself, but let's not revert to middle school bully behavior. It's all right. You got some pretty powerful words. Use them wisely. And enjoy your fame. You were meant to do it. You might not be what you expected, but you can take control of how much you put out there, and people will always be drawn to you. People will always look at you. You have every power to minimize that as much as possible. You have Pluto. You have Pluto ruling your first house. Basically, you can hide if you want to, girl. Please try to make more of an effort to. But yeah, that concludes a brief overview of Doja Cat's chart. I hope this helped. I hope you guys got to learn something. And if there's something that I might have gotten wrong or I might have missed, please let me know. Comment down below. Anything else that like you find interesting, I would love to talk about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.